Hello everyone, welcome to Word Funk. I am Leon Thomas. I am joined by Austin Yorsky and Johnny Maloney.
So, how do you guys feel about batteries, huh?
I feel like at this point it's like reusable things and anything that I have to keep buying more of just to make the one thing work is stupid. Everything should just have a plug.
So does that mean, sorry, I just need to, does that mean that you're, pro-rechargeable battery, or just, you are only pro-rechargeable battery because they are the best of a bad situation?
Best of the bad situation. But in terms of, the things oh, I have a thing, but it says battery's not included, and now I have to go buy an 8-pack of something at a Walgreens when I only need one. So I don't like that. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know why we're talking about this, but go ahead, Johnny.
Well, I bring it up because I got into a brief discussion today with somebody about batteries, and they had an attitude that very much resembles the one that you're taking, Leon. And I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And we got into you could store fucking electricity in a small round cylinder that's smaller than your fucking finger, and people are like, "Oh, that's a pain in the ass."
I'm sorry, but it is. Look, if they were free, it would be great. I'd be like, "Oh, I'm all about that." Just go down to the corner and press the battery button, and it would give 8 Ds, and that would be great. But no, the issue is not the technology. The issue is the price. That I have to keep buying more. I have to keep putting batteries in my smoke detector just so I can stay alive.
Yeah,
it's bullshit. So that's how I...
Although, in all fairness, you would be able to stay alive without batteries in your smoke detector.
Well, yeah, I mean...
Except for, just the one.
Right, exactly, yeah. Once is all you need, though.
I think that's what makes you an adult, is having your smoke detector taken care of, because the first thing I did when it started, making the low battery noise is I took it down, which I guess is a sign that I'm still a child, because I just didn't want to deal with it.
My smoke detector is fucked up, and I have to keep dealing with it, because my apartment, it was, built before anyone had sense. It's it was built before we invented common sense, because the kitchen has no window. So it's my office is on one side of the apartment, the kitchen is in the middle, and the bedroom is in the other room, and the bathroom.
Do you not have a stove hood or something?
No, it's just an old ass kitchen. The only windows in my home, there's I'm looking at a bunch in my office right now, and there's some in the bedroom, but the main thrust of my home, the hall/kitchen/ dining room, is windowless, and that's where all the smoke is. So
it's the good old flamin' Baltimore death trap.
Yeah. Oh God.
Incidentally, I just heard the other week that a brand new sexual position called the good old flamin' Baltimore death trap has been invented. So
that's an early contender for the title.
That may very well be the second time on WordFunk/BT that we're going to coin a new sexual position.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Baltimore, I sure am glad I got home safe. I don't know if you guys are aware of it, but how do I say this in a way that isn't horribly inflammatory?
Thank God that you're racially ambiguous.
Don't worry, Leon. I've seen The Wire at least twice. I totally identify with every struggle that you're going through, and it makes me an expert.
Okay, let me just put it this way, and this is the kindest way I can. The Baltimore police have become a terrifying, oppressive force in my home. Yeah, that's the nicest way I could say it.
In your home? They're, stationed in your living room?
In my home city.
Yeah.
I
thought the police
that would be
chief
really
was on your couch.
That would be really weird if you were "Oh, so you live in Baltimore?" No, Newark.
they're just popping out of the car. It's we gotcha. No.
I know this isn't my jurisdiction, Thomas, but I'm watching you.
Yeah, apparently, all right, serious face on right now. The Baltimore City Police did something horrible, as the police are known to do in my country, every other Tuesday.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know your country. I bet someone even yells at a police officer. They say you're not getting your hug. But
you only get the hug when you leave the country. Okay, so if you stay here, it doesn't happen.
No. Okay. So in all seriousness, the Baltimore City Police Department did something awful. And because of this, the Baltimore City citizens, us civilians, don't like that very much, and so we've taken to the streets to protest. I don't mean we, like I'm out there right now, because I'm obviously inside right now.
Reporting live from the streets.
Yeah.
On Renegade Thomas.
Wake up, sheeple! This is what's going on. No, no, I'm home. I was out because I work just outside of the city. I'm doing my stupid day job, and when I have to drive into the city, which I've done the past couple of days, it's been hell. Yesterday, my wife and I were driving home from something, and how do I put this? I was driving along the street, and very suddenly, 4 police vehicles were swarming, and at first I was like, what did I do? Because whenever the police are right behind me with their lights on, the assumption is they want me to pull over. So I pulled to the side in case that's what was going on, but they weren't after me. So there were 2 regular police cars and 2 vans with shock troopers inside or something. And,
are you laughing to keep yourself from crying? Is that what's going on right now?
I am. I am laughing about all this, but this is serious shit. I don't know how to approach it without making fun of it. But something funny did happen because of it. They swarmed in this red light in this intersection. They just kind of screeched into a halt, and they were blocking it for some reason. And my wife was like, wow, is there an Amber Alert going on? I'm like, I don't know. So I stopped because it's a red light and I want to turn left, and I can't because it's a red light. And the police are looking at me, and they start motioning towards me. I'm like, oh, they want me to pull over? Because no one has ever motioned to no, there have never been 4 police vehicles. 2 of
what kind of motioning were they doing? Because that's a very vague term. That could be making the air jerk off sign. Or a few years ago, I learned to say sausage fest in sign language. I would say that would be motioning.
Okay, no. They were motioning me to come forward, which is never what you want the police to do. You never want the police to say, come here, ever, no matter what. So they're motioning, and I'm like, what do they want? Are they asking me to pull over? Because there's a red light, and there are a bunch of cops, and if I do the wrong thing here, I'm going left on a red light when there's 4 huge police vehicles right there. So I'm stuck. I'm okay, I can do what I think they might want me to do, which is just get out of the way and go left on a red, and hopefully that's just what they wanted. Or I could stay here and twiddle my thumbs and wait until I'm absolutely sure. And I waited there until
you get a clip full of warning shots in the chest.
Right. So I waited there, just waiting for them to clarify their position about what they wanted me to do, because I don't do anything but I'm still afraid of police.
As a rule, I tend to not obey police instructions unless given to me by carrier pigeon.
Okay. The way I feel about police is the same way I feel about children. I'm glad they exist, but I just want them to stay the hell away from me all the time. So they're motioning me to move. So I start to inch forward, and there's a very helpful homeless person who was just to the left of me. And he says, I think they want you to go. So I was like, all right. So I start going, and I start turning, and this is actually what they wanted me to do. And they start yelling. I was like, go, go. And I don't lose my temper very much, but I started saying, well, how the hell was I supposed to know? But unfortunately, my window was down on my wife's side. I never have my windows down. So my wife says, don't swear at the police. And we got the hell out of there. They weren't after me. They were being an obnoxious presence in my city, because that's what the police are doing.
And although, Leon, you already have your go-to excuse that they pull you over and what were you yelling at us in the car? You'd be like, I was singing Kiss from a Rose. It's what I always do.
But anyway, this was not about me. I was just confused and upset that they were yelling at me. So anyway, today I had to come home, and my normal way home is blocked by all these cop cars. And
have you considered? Sorry, I'm just going to throw this out there. Have you considered not coming home? Because I mean, you know the old saying: if you lived here, you'd be home by now.
I mean, Johnny, you joke, but it's everywhere. Because I mean, there's the Ferguson stuff, there's the Eric Garner stuff in New York. There's someone where I am right now in South Florida, someone just got ran over by a cop, and he's not facing any charges. They just mowed a 15-year-old down with their police car.
I'm being,
I know,
of course, a little bit flippant. And don't, I'm not going to be like the pot calling the kettle black here because, surprise, surprise, police everywhere are a little fucked up. We have our own problems in Canada. I just meant, sometimes maybe sleeping at work isn't really such a bad idea.
Baltimore is worse than most, if I'm just being honest. I actually, on my way home, unless I take the other exit where I have to pay a toll and go straight home, I usually prefer to just drive the extra 10 minutes and not pay the toll. And part of that drive home every day is right by the police station. I cross by the police headquarters in Baltimore in order to get home. And it's usually not a big deal, but they were it looked like it was fortified. It looked like it was like this bunker or something as I was driving near the police station. And I couldn't get that close to it because apparently it's like their base. It's like their fortress right now. So they motioned for me to go another way. And I did, because this time their directions were very clear.
So their motioning was a little bit more specific.
Yeah. They pointed, and they just pointed a certain way. It's like, oh, well, I know my right from left, so I know exactly what to do in this situation. And then I went, and he was very nice about it. And I'm glad
we can joke about this now, because after the revolution is over and the country has burned to the ground, they're going to find these recordings and be like, how did these poor fools did not see this coming? Obviously, a revolt was about to happen. I mean, come on, guys.
I managed to get home with minor police interference this time, but yeah, I'm glad. How do I put this? I live in Baltimore, and that's fine. But I'm glad I work just outside of it. So, I mean, most of my driving has to be outside of the city because that's where I, go to work. So I'm glad I don't have to, say, drive across town to like a school and work there every day right now. Because I would prefer to just stay inside, like under a blanket, until all of this blows over. So anyway, that's my uncomfortable story or series of stories about what's going on. Let's talk about entertainment.
Be safe, Baltimore.
Yeah. If anyone is unaware of what I'm talking about,
let's do the introduction 20 minutes into this conversation. Good job, Leon. Good hosting.
Yeah, I feel like people know what the news is, but I am under the impression that police have killed someone that they shouldn't have killed, because, I don't know, weird entitlement. So that's all I got. Okay, let's talk about funnier stuff. Austin, you have, I believe... Hey, there's no transition here. There's no possible transition here.
Let's do it. Let's put a musical break in. Edit something in here, and then we'll come back, and it'll be a different mood.
I will.
Intermission.
I'll put in something super appropriate right here. Okay, we're back. All right, Austin, video games?
Yes, Leon, video games.
Okay.
Good job. No, I mean, we're getting into the beginning of summer here. It's a really dry period for video game news and releases, so there's not that much to talk about. But there was an announcement. I think Johnny might be the one to talk to about this. He's more into this genre, this scene. But Total War Warhammer was announced today. Do you have any? All I know is that it's a super grimdark IP, and that they made Space Marine, which is supposedly pretty good, but I haven't played it.
Well, first of all, Warhammer has to be like kind of divided down the middle and separated into two, of there being Warhammer Classic, or as they refer to it, Warhammer Fantasy, and then Warhammer 40K. And Warhammer Fantasy is, I mean, they're both still pretty grimdark. You know, lots of guys smeared with mud and guts.
Isn't that Blood for the Blood God?
Well, the Blood God exists in both, actually.
Oh, dang.
That's the thing, is that they do share a universe separated by tens of thousands of years, I guess. You know, considering that one of them is 40K and the other is just
1K. It's just
presumably like somewhere in the decimal range. But yeah, so I mean, I've known about this for some time, that Creative Assembly has had access to the Warhammer Fantasy, which is good, because it seems as though after Space Marine came out, Games Workshop, the company that owns the Warhammer franchise, the license, was like, I got a great idea. How about we let anybody do whatever they want with this and just not bother to follow up on quality control? Because there's like a Plants vs. Zombies Warhammer game at this point in time or something, although it's not called Plants vs. Zombies, you know, but it's like, I don't know what they call that, a lane defender or something? Or
tower defense, right?
No, tower defense is like when there's like approaches to a goal and then you're like building stuff along the way, but like Plants vs. Zombies is different, I think,
it's
where
a
it's
variant.
like, I suppose you could call it a tower defense variant. And then there's like chess, and there's a digital version of an old Warhammer 40K board game called Space Hulk that's out there, and like there's like a collectible card game too. Like they went from being really high fidelity titles with like voice acting and writing and plot and character to just being like, look, we slapped a Warhammer skin on it. But Creative Assembly, most famous for their Total War series, and recently for Alien Isolation, which has, for me, cemented in my mind that they're a developer of some competency. Yeah, they've been making a Total War Warhammer Fantasy game, and that just announced. Today, when we're recording this, there's like a cinematic trailer where they're all like, oh, things are bad because hammers and war and orcs who with spit and blood and stabby and plague and pestilence and chaos gods and corn. Although not like corn, like sweet corn, you know, but corn like spelled all cool, like you might think a heavy metal band would spell, but not the heavy metal band corn. You know, there's like an H in there and an E, so it's like, whoa, that's some serious corn.
Whatever happened to corn? Are they still around?
I hope not.
Oh.
I mean, you know, that's like, I don't mean like, I'm not like, I hope they're dead, but I just...
Johnny Maloney is taking a serious stance, saying he doesn't wish Korn would be dead.
I do not wish Korn was dead, but I haven't heard their music in a long time, and I'm glad of that.
I looked it up while you were talking. It's a thing I do. They released an album, let me see. Oh, only a couple years ago, I think. The one called The Paradigm Shift. They shifted the hell out of their paradigms 2 years ago. I was unaware of this completely.
I just put a link link in the chat if you guys want to click that. It's a tweet that Nintendo's official Twitter account just put out. There's a good typo. They've since deleted it. But that's a possible... That's a possible title card candidate right there, folks.
For those who don't know what I'm laughing at, it's a picture of Waluigi, and we can or cannot call some Uyghur Wednesday. Okay.
My entire goal with WordFunk is to make Leon laugh like that at least once per episode.
You're doing well. You're doing well. Congratulations.
So back to corn or whatever it is we were talking about.
Which one?
I don't know. You were saying a thing.
I'm sorry. I kind of feel like after you have a kid, you should probably stop writing music like that.
Okay.
It just, doesn't sit well with me.
Right.
I guess.
Johnny,
I don't know.
don't pretend like you didn't own a copy of Follow the Leader back in the day.
I did not. I did not own a copy of Follow the Leader back in the day, because when Follow the Leader came out, I was into, like, super hardcore industrial music. So.
Okay.
Leon?
So that corn stuff was too mainstream for me, yo.
Austin, go ahead. You're gonna say something?
No, I was just trying to get one of you to admit to liking corn.
Oh, are you asking if I ever bought that album?
I was, but you didn't seem like interested in taking the bait.
Oh, the very idea that I would buy music is pretty funny. But
Leon brings his own punchline to the party.
Yeah. No, actually, I wasn't a big fan. I don't mean that like in hindsight, like, oh, of course I hated that. No, I'm sure I liked a lot of stupid stuff back then, but Korn just happened to not be one of those bands. So there.
Fine. Warhammer, Johnny.
Yeah, so Creative Assembly is making a Total War Warhammer game, which I really hope they call Total Warhammer, but it's probably not going to happen.
That would be awesome. I like wordplay.
And I could be cool, I guess. I mean, I'm sort of, on the one hand, I'm kind of like, I feel like Creative Assembly has overextended themselves on the Total War front of late. Because the speed at which they put out Shogun 2, Rome 2, and then Attila, kind of, my head sort of spun. And it just sort of like, I mean, maybe more so Rome 2 and Attila than going from Shogun 2 to Rome 2, because there was a good long lead up, but it feels like as soon as Rome 2 fixed itself on PC, Attila came out. It felt like to me. But hopefully they're going to try and do something different with Warhammer, because they're not necessarily bound now by historical basis, I guess. But then at the same time, it's sort of like, okay, well, you had to pick one of the most lore-heavy fantasy settings that's popped up in, like, the last 50 years.
I mean, people get, butt mad about the historical accuracy of, like, Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones, so it being fictional has nothing to do with it throwing off those shackles.
And I mean, if you have even just for a second, like, just Googled Warhammer novels into your internet there, and oh my god. Like, oh my god. I just want you to both do that. Just go into Google and Google Warhammer novels and just check out that list that it presents you with right at the top there.
Jesus. All right, that's a thing.
It's like all of those things are considered like canon.
You know what's great? They all have badass names. They're all just like Troll Slayer and Vampire Wars and Witch Hunter, Blood of the Dragon. There's none that look like Kimmy's Diary or anything. It's just
look at and the Wikipedia list, the more definitive list of all of the things, is even worse or better, depending on how much time you have on your hands and how much you love these books.
I want to create a random Warhammer novel title generator, and it would all be something like Bloodbud or something.
They all sound like Korn song names.
They do. Manslayer, well, this one's okay. This one's just called The Ambassador. That could be anything. That could be a hotel.
The Burning Shore. Meat and Bone. Death's Messenger.
Sacred Flesh. Night of the Deep.
Sick House.
The Broken Lance. I'm not going to do all of them, because there's too many. But they all sound like this. They all just sound like the most boss thing you could possibly call yourself. It's like you just walk in the room and says, hey, everybody, Call me dead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had a joke, and then I read another one, and this one's better. Call me Dead Ball.
I think that's a Blood Bowl novel, you dork.
Oh, is it? What?
Yes.
Oh.
That's Blood Bowl. Come on. You're getting your universes mixed up.
Oh.
No. Blood Bowl takes place in the Warhammer Fantasy universe.
Oh, okay.
I know, but it doesn't count for the purposes of this joke.
No, yes it does. I will always count Dead Ball.
Austin, when will you learn that Dead Ball always should be counted?
Right.
Now it's suddenly really close to his heart. He's like, I love Dead Ball. I grew up with Dead Ball. Don't you talk shit about Dead Ball?
You know that speech in Field of Dreams where James Earl Jones talked about the historical importance of baseball? If he just replaced that with Dead Ball, it'd be like a way better movie.
I think this is great because we've talked about this for like 10 minutes and no one here knows anything about Warhammer.
No, I know exactly Jack. So I know nothing about all this stuff. I played a Total War game once. It was okay, and then I stopped playing it because I didn't have that much fun. The end. Okay, is there any other video game news we want to talk about, or should I go into the thing I want to talk about, and then we can...
The thing you actually care about, yes.
Yeah, the thing I actually care about. Okay, heads up, everyone. The thing that you never...
I feel like you're about to ask me to hang 10 or something. Heads up, everyone! Hang 10 or lose your butt!
the thing that everyone joked about ever happening has happened. Full House is coming back to television, specifically Netflix. Full House, or now it's going to be called Fuller House, because I guess technically it's a spinoff, is happening. It's been rumored for a long time that Full House there was going to be more Full House in one form or another, but John Stamos just confirmed it on a talk show, and there's been like a press release, so it's legit. The show is going to be called Fuller House, because why be creative?
Well, it's setting up for the next spinoff, which is Fullest House.
Oh, okay. That one's just going to be like an ensemble thing with like everyone from the 80s and 90s sitcoms in it, like The Expendables with laugh tracks. Okay. But so in all seriousness, John Stamos, who apparently has ownership stake in the show, and other producers are going to put together this show. And the premise is similar to the original. Basically, DJ grows up, she has a couple kids, and while she's pregnant with another, her husband dies. So it's going to be super light. And her sister, Stephanie, who has been like trying to be a musician like Uncle Jesse, is going to help her out. And also Kimmy Gibbler. So it's like the same thing, but gender switched. In terms of who on the original cast besides them are going to be on the show, John Stamos we assume will be part of it because he is actively involved in it. He's like a producer. There's no like guarantee just yet that Bob Saget and Dave Coulier will appear, but one assumes that they will, because what is Dave Coulier doing right now? Probably like, oh my god!
Sick David Coulier slam, bro.
Oh my god, I got my...
To be fair, that guy's been asking for it for like 30 years now.
Leon, here's the important, as far as casting goes, the important question is Buddy going to be back? The dog?
Wait, isn't it Comet?
The character is Comet. The dog is named Buddy. Come on.
I'm pretty sure that dog has long since shuffled off this mortal coil.
I looked him up because I knew you were going to say that, and you want to hear some sad shit?
What?
In 1997, Buddy had his right hind leg amputated due to synovial cell sarcoma, a type of cancer that manifests near the joints. Buddy died in his sleep due to complications from cancer on February 10th, 1998.
Thanks for letting me know that. So, we'll get...
Jeez, Austin, just Johnny on the spot for all the dead dog news you never thought you needed.
He also played Buddy in Air Bud, in case you were wondering if that was the same dog. It was.
I did not know that. All right. Okay. Well, I'm glad that he got some work after Full House. In fact, you could say that he had a better post-Full House career than Dave Coulier. I'm sorry. I don't know. I have nothing against him. He's probably a really nice guy. Anyway, here's the thing. This is happening. This is a thing. Full House wasn't a good show, but in hindsight, it has this kind of camp to it that makes me think about it in a rosier, nostalgic way.
You can't really argue that it wasn't iconic.
Yeah. Oh no, everyone knows what Full House is, even if you've never seen it. You are familiar with what it is.
Growing up with shows like Full House is why I stopped watching TV for years. It's so bad.
Yes,
So
I never watched Full House.
but you could still say it had quite an impact on Austin. So
Yeah.
it has an impact. And yeah, Johnny, you apparently you've never seen it, and yet probably know a fair bit about it.
No. I never watched it. I that doesn't mean I wasn't aware of it.
Right.
And that is that is to say something to its kind of like cultural pervasiveness. It just it could infest you without even exposing yourself to it.
Yeah, and I'll just say it. I've seen every episode because probably
On purpose?
Oh yeah, probably many times. In fact, I was all about.
I never knew this about you, Leon. This is it's okay. I accept who you are.
That's good. I was all about bullshit TGIF when I was young. But here's the thing, guys. This is the better thing about all this. It's not just that Full House is coming back as a spinoff, and it's on Netflix, so you know it's hip. That's not the biggest thing about this. Here's what's cool. Right now, the biggest thing going on in movies and television are connected franchises like Marvel and the upcoming explosion of Star Wars movies. So here's the thing. Steve Urkel appeared on Full House and an episode of Step by Step. So that connects their little worlds. And I believe Michelle appeared on an episode of Hangin' with Mr. Cooper. So what I'm trying to say is we could have on our hands a Full House cinematic universe. And so next we're going to get the Step by Step kids all grown up and on their own show.
Does this mean, though, that all of the superhero movies, that this Full House is going to be a gritty, dark reboot?
It's really high stakes, and they start dying off.
Is Kimmy going to be saying to DJ, "Do you bleed?"
I think it'll be more like
Will.
I think it'll be more like Guardians of the Galaxy. It has a sense of humor, but still stakes. I mean, there's a baby on the way, and someone just died. So there's stuff going on. So I'm excited about this. Excited is a weird word to say about Full House, but I am. I was thinking. I forgot about something. Family Matter. This is all connected. Like I said, Urkel appeared on Full House. Family Matters is actually a spinoff of Perfect Strangers, so they can get Balky into the mix too with all of this. We can get Balky in 2016, and he's just as obnoxious, and it'll be great.
So if there's going to be an 80s sitcom revival cinematic universe, are they going to have to bring back The Cosby Show too? Because I feel like there's going to be a conflict there.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening. Cosby Show did get some spin-offs, like A Different World, but I think we're past that now. I hope we are anyway. By the way, can I just say something real quick? The Perfect Strangers theme song is great. It's this really upbeat, bombastic, overly dramatic and exciting theme song for what is really a stupid sitcom about two guys. One of them happens to be a foreigner. So it's like you listen to it and it's like, yes, nothing is gonna stand on my way.
Whatever happened to the good art of the theme song? I feel like American shows don't have good, maybe except for HBO shows, but the regular average shows don't have really good theme songs anymore.
Yeah, that's kind of gone by the wayside. I was thinking earlier today about theme songs actually, and I realized that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles theme song is a lie. All of it is a lie. Because when they introduced the characters, everything they said about them is bullshit. They say Leonardo leads. First of all, no, Splinter leads them completely. Splinter's like Professor X, and Leonardo's like Cyclops. Leonardo's like the field leader, in the combat zone, but he still takes orders from someone else. So that's not true. And the other thing about the huge lie that is the theme song, it says that Michelangelo is a party dude. How many parties do you think Michelangelo actually goes to? He knows, like...
I think he goes to a lot of parties, it's just nobody ever comes.
Yeah, that's the thing. Michelangelo knows, like, 5 guys, and 3 of them are his brothers. So it's a bunch of shit. He doesn't
Yeah, but
know
Donatello does invent a bunch of stuff.
He absolutely does machines. I mean, that is...
And I do believe that Raphael had attitude.
But no, Michelangelo, I don't remember any parties he ever goes to. It sounds like Michelangelo is like, yeah, I'm totally a party guy, and then he just cries in a corner. He's like, that's like his facade.
But is that still not necessarily being a party guy? Because you are going to parties. You just spend a lot of your time there weeping incessantly.
Yes, but in the song, when they say he's a party dude, it shows him breakdancing, and that is still very duplicitous.
True. He did not do a lot of breakdancing in the show.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that the theme song.
There was some skateboarding though. There was some skateboarding.
Fair enough, but the theme song, it's weird when you watch the theme song, the intro, and the animation is like much better in the intro when you watch that. It's like it looks crisper. It looks like anime, and then when you watch the show, it just looks like someone doodled it.
It's almost like they were stretching their budget really thinly to make sure that they got out as many episodes as they could in order to sell as many toys as they possibly could while saving costs on the animation.
Oddly, yes.
Leon, did you not watch anime? That's like the most common thing ever. Theme song like visuals always look really good, and this show always look like garbage.
Yeah, that's a shame. It is
an economic reality.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm glad someone finally held their feet to the fire on that theme song libel, though.
I know, right? But to be fair, Austin, they had it coming for like 30 years now.
But also, something else about the theme song. It says Splinter taught them to be ninja teens. Splinter taught them to be ninjas. He didn't have anything to do with their development.
Hey, you don't know that.
They age naturally. He didn't.
You don't know that. He might have had some very, very awkward conversations with the Turtles about nocturnal emissions.
I feel like the Ninja Turtles don't know a whole lot about what it's like to be a teenager. They're like they don't do anything teenagerly. They dress around in like really old-fashioned trench coats and hats that old men wear.
Maybe that's normal for teenage turtles. Maybe they're not teenage humans.
I imagine they have a very distinct odor to them, and that strikes me as being something very teenage.
Well, they live in a fucking sewer, so I guess.
There you go.
All right, fair enough. Okay. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Full House is coming back, so that's a thing, and I'm pretty jazzed about it. I told my wife about it, and she says, "You are watching that on your own." I said, that's fine.
And now I'm just envisioning the Golden Globe face-off where Downton Abbey and Full House are going head-to-head for, like, the best TV drama.
Oh. How funny would it be if it actually was really great? Because, like, all of Netflix's recent output has been, like, fantastic. Way better than I expected.
That's kind of scares me about it, is that I'm like, wow, am I going to sit down and watch a Full House reboot?
The weird thing is it's going to come up on Netflix, so we're all going to binge watch Full House.
Yeah. It's funny, because when I first heard Netflix was making original series, I'm like, that's stupid. That'll never work. But now, like, House of Cards, Orange is the New Black, and Daredevil are, like, my favorite shows that are currently running. So, yeah, I don't know.
They know what they're doing, I guess. Full House. I mean, I guess we shouldn't say that everything that Netflix has put out has been great, because they do sillier fare, like the Inspector Gadget show. That's
I mean, let's keep the field level here.
All
you
right.
Don't know how serious the Inspector Gadget television show is going to be.
Okay.
I hear that the one series they have called Hemlock Grove is supposed to be worse than eye cancer, but I can't confirm.
Yeah, I've heard it's really trashy too, actually. But I'm kind of okay with that because there sort of came a period of time there, sort of like post True Blood, right at the inception of Twilight, where like anything paranormal that came out was like really pulpy and gross and stupid. And I was like, okay. Because, I mean, really, like a show about werewolves, I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm going to take that real seriously.
Leon, you were saying you looked up something about Inspector Gadget?
Oh, I'm trying to find out when it comes out. You know what? I'm not going to watch it. I don't feel the kind of nostalgic feelings as I do with I feel with Full House.
You're taking a stand. No Matthew Broderick, no Cell.
Yeah, exactly. If Matthew Broderick plays the voice of Inspector Gadget, I will give that a try. He played adult Simba. So that's all I got. Is there? I believe there's other video game news we could talk about, or any other news we could talk about. Unless you guys really want to talk more and more about Full House. That Full House sure did suck. But
so, Austin, did you ever play Alan Wake?
Wait, did someone already make this joke? Are Mary-Kate and Ashley coming back? Is that a thing?
They want them to come back, but there's no solid.
That's what they say to the camera.
Yeah. The weird thing is, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen are like billionaires at this point, but I don't know if they do much anymore. They don't have to. I mean,
I think they have clothing lines that just kind of like sell in certain department stores, and there's even like I think a makeup and like a small furniture line or something like that they do.
This is clearly our area of expertise, guys.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've done seriously deep research as to where the Olsen twins are at this point in time in their lives.
If they do furniture, does that mean they make twin beds? I'm laughing at my own.
For those of you who are listening to the show still, who didn't stroke out during that joke, Austin just left for a moment. I don't think he could bear the shame.
No, I hope that didn't mess up your recordings, but I was too funny not to.
Oh, God. No, I think my recording is fine. Yeah.
So, Austin, have you ever played, did you play Alan Wake?
I don't know how much time we have for this conversation, Johnny, but I did play it, and it was okay. I think the gameplay got boring, but I liked the style. I liked the kind of Twin Peaks meets Stephen King thing they were going for.
Yeah. Have you noticed the return of the Alan Wake media?
I know some footage came out of a Alan Wake 2 thing they were playing with that's not going to be released.
There was an in-house prototype apparently that Remedy was shopping around to publishers that they were like, yeah, you know, like we kind of want to do Alan Wake 2. We kind of want to do Alan Wake 2. And they sort of just kept it under the lid. A lot of the ideas they said that they used in the prototype kind of made it through to American Nightmare, the downloadable standalone that came after Alan Wake. But Sam Lake had, who is, like, I believe the creative director over Remedy, I think that's his title.
He's the real-life Max Payne.
He's the real-life Max Payne 1. Max Payne 2 and 3 kind of get, I don't know, grisly. But, yeah, so Sam Lake had a conversation, an extensive one, with Polygon, actually, about how much they'd love to do another Alan Wake game. But, like, apparently meetings that they had with Microsoft turned into them talking about, like, doing Quantum Break, which is the new one that Remedy has coming out right now. And it seems like Quantum Break is kind of coming to the end of its development cycle. So I sort of get the impression that Remedy is testing the waters for responses to actually make, like, a full-fledged sequel to Alan Wake.
Yeah, it's not a marquee name, but it's better than starting over with a new IP and trying to, you know, garner interest for that, because it's always easier to build on an established brand.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And I mean, Alan Wake is niche, but people know of it.
Mm-hmm.
It has a reputation.
That's something that you'd be interested in?
Reasonably. It's not like a day one go get an X-Bone kind of deal, but...
Yeah.
I'd probably pick up the port eventually when it came to Steam, honestly.
Well, they're talking about not necessarily being an exclusive, because there was a whole mess when Alan Wake finally came to PC. Like Remedy bragged that within 2 days they had already made all their money back. They were like, "Yep, we did it." But
you got to get it made first, and that's a lot easier with console manufacturer money.
Yes, it is. Yes.
So timed exclusive, at least, you would think.
Very possibly. I mean, it depends who decides to put their chips on this. But I don't know. I think I'd be interested in the second Alan Wake.
Like
They'd have to fix a little bit up first, but I mean, Remedy's writing is always kind of a delight for me.
I liked the first one. I didn't finish it, but I remember enjoying it. For some reason, I just never got around to finishing it. But it was neat. It wasn't the best.
Spoilers, Leon. It's not a lake. It's an ocean.
Oh, okay.
You don't know what that means?
No, I don't, because I didn't finish it.
That's the joke.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
Leon,
Yeah.
you finally watched Old Boy.
Yeah.
It's fucking badass, right?
Yeah, I liked it. I dug it. It was interesting because all I knew about Old Boy going in was that one scene in the hall that's very famous. Watching Old Boy, it's actually, I mean, there are action sequences, but I was expecting it being an action movie. There would be all this martial arts stuff. But no, it's more of a mystery with some horrific and action elements. So I liked it quite a bit. I will probably do something on it at some point, just not now or in the...
Will you call that episode Countdown to Incest 2? The incesting?
Well, that's just a spoiler. But yeah, I rather enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I've seen another film by the same director called I'm a Cyborg, and That's Okay. It has my favorite line from, I think, any movie ever. And it doesn't make any sense out of context, but that's why it's funny. It's someone screams, the vending machine... Oh, wait, what was it? God, what is the damn line? The vending machine says hello. It was just someone being dragged away, and he screams, the vending machine says hello. And that was great. But yeah, I need to watch more Korean films, because every time I watch a Korean film, I like it. I can't remember too many that I've disliked. So
for the record, this is Park Chan-wook, who also made Snowpiercer, which you liked a lot as well.
Wait, hold on. Wait.
You checking?
Yeah, I need to check something real quick because I hold on. No, Bong Joon-ho made Snowpiercer. I thought that was not him.
He directed it. Weren't they both involved in it? I don't know. I'm really bad with Korean names, first of all. I thought that he was in some way connected with it, but...
Bong Joon-ho...
yeah, he was a producer.
Oh, he's a producer for it. Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah, Bong Joon-ho is the host guy. He directed Snowpiercer.
Yeah. Bong Joon-ho did Mother and Snowpiercer and The Host and something else that I liked. I think it was called Barking Dogs Never Bite. Yeah, that was good. Anyway, every time I see a Korean movie, I end up liking it. So I'm just going to start watching more Korean movies until they start sucking. That's my plan.
I'm sure there's plenty of bad Korean movies, just as there's plenty of bad American movies.
That's fair, but so far, they're about 1,000 with me. So I'm like, I might as well just keep going.
Yeah.
All right. I saw Unfriended. You want to talk about Unfriended?
Isn't it the haunted Skype movie?
It is the haunted Skype movie. Did anyone else see Unfriended?
Why would you do that?
Did, but I mean, did either of you see Unfriended?
I'm gonna go ahead and say that it's probably not my style.
Okay. It's not my style either because I don't like found footage horror movies on the whole. However, I didn't hate this. I wouldn't say it was great, but it delivered exactly what it said it would. It was a horror movie told through Skype.
Wait. Does the call quality drop at certain points in time, and are there extensive parts of the movie of people going, hello?
Yes, there is.
Can you hear me? I think he's gone.
It looks genuinely like a Skype call, and I think it might have been. They said they did it in one take. So,
no, they didn't make the whole movie in one take. I don't believe you.
I can't say for sure. I wasn't.
You know what they did, Austin? What they did was that they filmed a bunch of shit, they edited it together, and then they put it on a computer screen and filmed that. And we're like, yeah, we did it in one take. Badass.
Can you imagine one person blows their cue and they have to start all over?
it was kind of okay.
You know, I'm sorry to break this to you, Austin, but very often they do manage to do those things. They're called plays.
You got me there.
Okay. In all seriousness, I've heard very mixed things from lots of people. Some people say it was completely boring. Some people say it was so terrifying. I wasn't scared at all during it, but it was engaging enough. I was never bored throughout the entire thing, and you would think it would be because you're looking at a computer screen the whole time. But I was engaged enough to watch all 80-something minutes of it. It's a fairly short film. It doesn't even hit the 90-minute.
It would have to be.
Yeah, it doesn't hit the 90-minute mark. So it's not like you're in for a long ride.
I love that the modern horror bar is so low that I wasn't bored is praise.
Well, no, modern horror can be really great. It's just that most of the horror that's released in wide release these days isn't so great. We
talked about this a couple of weeks ago about the low bar to entry, the low bar of entry on making a horror film.
Yeah, it's true.
To where it's like, oh, okay, what do you need? Well, I've got a dead guy and somebody gets stabbed. All right, you're greenlit. Let's go.
Yeah. There's tons of great horror through video on demand and smaller releases. That's exploding right now. And there's tons of great stuff. So and foreign horror as well. But in terms of
they just added the Babadook to Netflix. I hear that's good.
I didn't enjoy it myself, but I am in the extreme minority, so I assume everyone who's listening to this, 99% of you will enjoy it. Cause I just happen to be that weird curmudgeon-y 1%. Go watch the Babadook.
For some reason, I thought that the Babadook was a movie about depression. I don't know where I got that now, because you're both telling me it's a horror movie, and I'm like, okay.
It's actually both.
Yeah. All right then.
No, there's layers to it, and you would think that would be the kind of thing I would be into.
I don't believe you.
For some reason, I just wasn't feeling it. But I can't love them all. But there's plenty of good horror movies that come out. You just have to know where to look. I guess the only recent one that got a wide release that's been really great was It Follows. But we talked about that a couple of weeks in a row, so we won't get into that again. All right, we are running out of time. Anything you guys want to say before we go?
When is your Transformers episode going to be out? Is it going to be scathing, or is it just going to be your normal, like, here's what I thought about the colors?
There is talk about colors. One thing I don't think I even mentioned in the episode that I wrote I find strange. Maybe I shouldn't find it strange. I just find it unsettling. Is that the Autobots keep saying, we've made a pact with the people of Earth to defend it against the Decepticons. I'm like, oh, that's neat, but you haven't. You made a pact with the American military and literally nothing else. Not even the rest of the American government. Not even any other country at all on the entire Earth.
Leon.
Yeah.
Everybody in the world has come to peace with the fact that America thinks that they, of course, would be the first place that aliens would go talk to and be like, you are the leaders of this world? They'd be like, fuck yeah, have a cigar and drink this Budweiser.
Even like fuck yeah America movies like Independence Day, at the end they're like, we need to make a global offensive with every other country on Earth if we're gonna actually take out the aliens. And then they do.
But nobody believes that.
But in Transformers, there's almost no sign of any other country except China at the very end in the fourth one, but that was for monetary reasons.
Yeah, I mean, the America stuff's for monetary reasons, too. The American government gave him money because of, or the film production money for its positive portrayal of the military.
Another thing I actually was going to write into the episode, but cut, I guess because frankly, I'm too chicken to do it. But I'll say it here because no one listens to this show. If the American military is funding a movie and it's, how do I put this? The qualifier is you have to portray the American military a certain way. That is literally the definition of propaganda. So these movies are that, and we have to make peace with the fact that the American military is creating propaganda films. So
And then they...
No. They're not creating propaganda.
They're helping
films.
fund it.
They're facilitating somebody else creating American propaganda films. The two are very distinct. Accusing the American military of doing the wrong one will probably get your ass killed.
Yeah. Lenny Riefenstahl didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, good thing that's such an obscure film history joke. No one's going to get mad at you.
Oh, I wanted to say one thing before we go, even though we've run over at this point. And I don't know how much I'm going to fit all this in. Chicken Boo's disguises were always bad. None of them were convincing. You can't put a hat on a chicken and say that looks like a real human being. So I find these sketches to be improbable. And that's what I wanted to say.
Thank you.
Yeah. I just felt like, if I'm going to poke holes in something, it should be something that's 20 years old.
Remember, kids, take care of your fibrous tissues.
Or don't, whatever.
Yeah.
Nihilists.
Wow. Where did we...
Say what you want about the tenets of National Socialism. At least it's an ethos.
Okay. I'm going to leave now. This turn took a weird turn.